Everyone, welcome to today's webinar. I hope I'm audible enough. Can someone please confirm with me if I'm audible enough?
Yes, we can hear you clearly. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon again, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. Today we're going all the way to Sudan. And yeah, I hope our speaker is on the call. Yeah, we're just gonna start or give 2 minutes to allow others to join. You can as well share the link to someone that you know will be interested in talking about what we're doing. Please kindly share the link so that we'll have more people to join in case you have not done so. I think our speaker is already on the call. Okay, that's good. So we're gonna give 2 minutes to allow a minute or two, sorry, to allow others to join. Yeah. Until then.
Hello.
Hello, welcome. Good
Hi.
afternoon.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me very well?
Yeah, I can clearly.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for joining.
Thank you. Can
Yeah.
you see me?
Yeah, sure. No, I can't see you now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you can see me?
Oh, I can't.
I think your laptop, there's a slide lock for the camera. So
It's
if
open. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
open.
oh, because it's still showing us that it's locked from our end.
And join again.
Okay, no
Okay.
problem. That's
Okay.
fine. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay, welcome again, everyone. Thank you for joining. I think our speaker is having some technical problems, but we hope she sort it out soon and join us again. So yeah, without wasting time, I want to welcome you all for joining today's webinar. As stated earlier, today we're going all the way to Sudan. I'm so excited for the How Well Do You Know Africa Mentimeter stuff. I can't wait. Yeah, so welcome. Before we go further, we'll have some ground rules that should mute our microphones. I believe most of us have already done that, and that all communication should be done with respect. And kindly introduce yourself in the chat box. I'll go first. I can't type right now. So I'm Mary. I am joining from Germany and I'm from Sierra Leone. So you can just tell us your name, where you're joining from, where you're from, your country of origin or so. So we'll get to know how many people from how many countries in Africa are represented here today. So yeah, kindly introduce yourself in the chat box and let's get to know each other because we're not just here to learn or yeah, we're also here to collaborate, try to get to know each other and forge future partnerships. Yeah, so next on the slide is today's webinar agenda. We'll start with introduction and then we'll have an interactive session, which I stated that I can't wait for, where we'll get to know Africa better. Yeah, and next we'll go to introduction of our speaker. We do some Q&A and then closing remark. We'll end up We'll end with some closing remark and also. Yeah, so MAGGREEN is the organization that is hosting this webinar, the Africa Energy series with MAGGREEN, and MAGGREEN is an organization that is posed at empowering young people, young Africa, with relevant knowledge that is required to transition to clean energy, as well as combat climate change in our continent. MAGGREEN was founded by three young ladies or women that are passionate about contributing to the fight against climate change in Africa. So the vision of MAGGREEN is to build a community and network of like-minded people and organizations that are willing, ready to combat climate change, improve livelihood, and make Africa have a clean and sustainable energy. Next is to the reason why the Africa Energy webinar series was flagged. It's not news that there is a significant knowledge gap among African youth regarding your climate change, net zero targets, and energy transition plans in respective African countries. Countries across the globe, as well as different countries around Africa. So for us to be able to address this and bridge the gap, MAGGREEN flagged the Africa Energy Series. So with that, our aim is simple but impactful. We aim to educate and forge partnerships between countries, African countries to be precise, for the greater good of our continent, Africa. So far we've done over 35 countries in Africa, and we are hoping to journey across Africa by the end of the year or beyond. So look out for us. Yeah. So now I'll introduce you to the team, the MAGGREEN team. You have myself, Meridor Kamara. I happen to be the programs coordinator. We have Suleiman Aisha Abba, who is a communication and partnership coordinator. And then we have Georgette Celestine Udo, who is a technical and design coordinator. So now to the fun parts. Georgette, over to you so that we'll get some fun.
Thank you very much, Mary, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for joining, and we're excited to have you. So in the chat, I have put in a link that will take you to the Mentimeter, so we get to see how well you know Africa. And it's good today. I see from our chat room, we have lots of people from Sudan. Let's see if you actually know your country as well as you think you do. So please click on the link and let's do this together. Please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, please.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. So the first question on Mentimeter is, what is the capital of Sudan? Is it Juba? Is it Khartoum? Is it Rundu? Is it Zambezi? So please put in your options. Let's see who know Africa so well. Okay, one person says Khartoum. Let's see. What do others think? Does someone think it's Juba? Does it think it's Rundu or Zambezi? Okay, we have variety now. Does anyone think different, or would majority carry the vote today? Okay, so I think majority has it. It's Khartoum. And our next question is, which river runs through Sudan, making it vital to the country's agriculture? Is it the Congo River? Is it the Nile River? Is it Zambezi River? Or is it the Niger River? Okay, this is nice to see. Does anyone have something different? Because I see lots of majorities are going for Nile River. Does this mean we know Africa or we don't? Okay, yes, majority has it. Nile River is the river that flows through Sudan that plays a major part in the agriculture in which they do. So the next question is, what is a significant economic resource in Sudan? Is it diamond? Is it oil? Is it copper? Is it limestone? Okay. Does anyone have something different? Participants are reducing, but okay, I think maybe people are having some network issues, but please feel free to click on the link in the chat and we can proceed from there. So yes, indeed, oil is a major, contributes significantly to Sudan's economic resource. And our final question for today is, Sudan has a major desert region, and what is its name? Is it Sahara? Is it Gobi? Is it Kalahari? Is it Atacama? Okay, so yes, indeed, we have lots of Sudanese on this call, and the answer is Sudan. Thank you very much to everyone that participated, and I will hand it over to Mary now.
Thank you, Georgette. I mean, the fun part for me always. I hope you enjoyed the Mentimeter thing. Yeah, I mean, we do this every Saturday. Sorry, can you see my screen, please?
Yes, we can, but it's still on the barcode.
Ah, okay. Let me just do it again. I don't know why. Yeah, right this. And this. Okay now, right?
Wait,
It's
no, it's still
moving.
on the barcode.
Whoa, what's going on?
Just tap on next.
Yeah. So is it okay now?
Yes, it's okay now.
Okay. So next we're looking for speakers in these countries. I mean, we've been able to cover majority of African countries, but we're yet to get people, speakers from these countries. In case you know someone from any of these countries that is also doing something related to climate change, energy transition, you can really share their contact with us, their LinkedIn with us, their, or you can as well tell them about us to reach out to us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, yeah, Twitter. Yeah, so, and we also have our email address that is maggreen360@gmail.com. Kindly help us get speakers if you can. Yeah, because we really want to do for all African countries before the end of the energy series. Yeah, with that, we go to the next slide, which will be an introduction about our speaker. Our speaker's name is Razan Sidki, and she is a solar energy engineer with over 6 years of experience in sales and business development. Currently, currently she is working as a business development manager at African Engineering and Management of Infrastructure and Technology Co. Limited. She has successfully driven growth through strategic planning, client engagement, and market expansion. She holds a master's degree in renewable energy technology from the University of Khartoum, and she has worked with several leading companies in Sudan. She is also a certified project management professional and has completed prestigious programs such as MC Kisley Forward Program and the Open Africa Power Program, and further enhancing her expertise in leadership and sustainable energy solutions. She's deeply committed to sustainability. She actively participates in initiatives focused on advancing renewable energy adaptation across the region. Over to you, Razan.
Hi.
And yeah, I'll stop sharing and then you can take it from here.
Okay. So you can see my screen right now.
Yeah, we can see your screen, but not your slides.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So first of all, thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk about Sudan renewable energy sector and to be part of this series. Thank you, Green. So let's start. So I'm gonna talk about overview about Sudan, then about Sudan energy landscape, and then the market. Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Loud
can.
and clear.
Okay. And then lastly, the challenges. So overview. So Sudan is a country located in Northeast Africa, with area 1.8 million kilometers square, which make it the third largest country by area after Algeria and Congo. Before the separation of Sudan and South Sudan, Sudan used to be the largest country in Africa. Sudan has a population of 50.8 million. Unfortunately, 63% of this population has access to has access to electricity, and unfortunately, 37% of the population does not have access to electricity. And this was in 2022. Also, the installed capacity in Sudan in 2021 is 4.5 gigawatt. Sudan energy landscape. So Sudan has many resources when it comes to renewable energy. We have the solar, we have the wind, geothermal, biomass, and hydropower. And we have much of unused land, which is available for renewable energy development. So if we took the solar energy, just give me a minute. So if we look at the picture here in the right, Sudan has a very high potential for solar energy. As we see, all the country have a very good radiation, especially the north area. And the sunshine hours per day is between 8.5 to 11 hours, which make it a prime candidate for extensive solar project. Also, if we talk about the wind, we have many areas in Sudan, like the northeast of Sudan. We have the Red Sea. We have in the north, we have Dungula. We have Jabal Marra in west of Sudan, with wind speed 6 meter per second, in height 100 meter, which makes Sudan one of 8 African countries with significant onshore wind capacity. Geothermal in Sudan also has show promising indicator. Geothermal we can find in many regions like Darfur and Red Sea. Geothermal resource estimated to have potential of 400 megawatt of electricity. Also, Sudan has many water resources, and hydropower play a critical role in Sudan energy sector. We have a total potential for hydropower estimated to be 4,860 megawatt, and right now the total capacity is 159.3 megawatt. Also, biomass. Sudan is an agricultural country, and biomass continue to play a continue to be a key resources, especially in rural areas, because they depend on their biomass and burning the wood and charcoal for cooking. So it's continue to be a key resource in the country. So if we took a look at renewable energy status in Sudan, we see that hydropower dominates Sudan renewable energy generation with 79% of the renewable energy capacity, and we have biomass 11% and solar 10%. So hydroelectricity in Sudan is generated from 5 hydropower plant, which is Sinar power plant, with total capacity 15 megawatt, and Kashmir Girba power plant with total capacity 17.8 megawatt, and resource power plant with total capacity of 280 megawatt. Jabal Awliya, total capacity of 30.4 megawatt, and we have the biggest and recent dam, which is Marawi Dam power plant, with 1,250 megawatt. So the total installed capacity of hydropower, 1,593 megawatt. Also, if you look at the solar energy in Sudan is limited for irrigation, solar pumping system, and off-grid system. Estimated capacity in 2022 is 200 megawatt, but I believe it's more higher right now. It's more higher than this number. Biomass also plays a significant role in the land. And in Sudan, there is many sugar factories that after they extracting the sugar, after extracting the sugar from the sugar cane, there's a leftover known as bagasse. It's often used as a biomass fuel. This leftover can be burned to generate steam and electricity for factories. Operation reducing depends on fossil fuel and reduce the factory's waste. So here, the estimated combined capacity is 55.5 megawatt in sugar factories. Primarily, it's used for their own use. So Sudan current energy sector, if we look at the total energy supply Sudan, which is total energy, all the energy available in the country, we see that the traditional biofuel is, we hardly rely on the traditional biofuel like charcoal and wood. And the largest sector that consume the biomass is the household sector with 88%, and then the public sector at 9%, and industry sector at 3%. So electricity generation in Sudan in 2022, we have only two sources, the hydro and the oil. Unfortunately, right now, because of the war, I think there is no oil generation right now because there is a daily power plant, and we have Bahri thermal power plant, which is the bigger thermal power plant in the country. Both of them destroyed because of the going war in Sudan. So these numbers is now changed a lot. So if we took 2022, we have 71.4% was from hydro and oil 28.6%. Most of the electricity generated in Sudan is used by household sector with 55% and public sector at 21%, and the industry sector by 13%, agriculture at 7%. Unfortunately, 62.8% of the population in Sudan does not have access to clean cooking, and they rely on biomass. As we know, when we burn the wood, it releases gases such as CO2, and it affect the woman health and affect the woman who's doing the cooking, especially if they cook indoor. So health issues related to indoor air pollution in Sudan kill more than malaria and other diseases. Climate change. Sudan remain highly committed to climate change and Paris Agreement, and also submitted an NDC in September 2022. Sudan's share of global greenhouse gases emissions is 0.27%, and has a target to reduce greenhouse gases emissions by 27.1 million metric tons of CO2 equivalent. And this is a conditional target. We can only achieve it if we get help from international partners. And we have other unconditional targets. Sudan aims to reduce greenhouse gases emissions through domestic efforts without rely on external support. These targets often focus on enhancing renewables energy use and improving energy efficiency. Sudan committed to reduce greenhouse gas emission by 38 in energy sector, and 45% in forestry sector, and 20% in waste sector. NDC also identify agriculture as the important part propose scaling up a more efficient irrigation system powered by renewables energy. As I said, Sudan is an agricultural country, so it's very important to scale up efficiency of irrigation system in Sudan. So market development. There are two major pieces of legislation in that provide policy making in electricity sector in Sudan. Electricity Regulatory Authority, which is responsible for overseeing electricity generation, transmission, and distribution operation in Sudan, as well as licensing and for the local and foreign entities. And we have the National Investment Encourage Act of 2013, which encourages investment aligned with national strategy and development. Also, the Public-Private Partnership Law of 2021. This law represents a significant step toward enhancing infrastructure development by encouraging private entities to invest and participate in projects alongside public entities. And it also intends to encourage transparency and integrating in reduced and equal and approval of the net metering scheme in 2022 enable on-grid solar system from 1 kilowatt to 1 megawatt for all customer type. And this implementation requires a licensed contractor under the Sudanese Electricity Distribution Company. Also, the Sudan government want to attract international investment in solar energy. So it's offer a tax break on import duty exceptions. One of the problems that was prevent the separate of solar energy in Sudan was the cheap price of the electricity in Sudan. So recently, the government cuts the fuel and electricity subsidies. These are the adjustment encourage consumers to adopt renewables energy and support the long-term sustainability. So here I'm going to talk about important project in recent years in Sudan. We have the first utility scale solar power plant project in Sudan, which was in the Fashir 5 megawatt solar power plant project. This project was financed by the government, and it was in Darfur region, which is the home of more than 9 million people. Unfortunately, still the people in this area suffer from poor power infrastructure. Also, we have the first net metering pilot project with the Shamal cement factory, with 54 megawatt. And this project is a good model because the industrial facilities would present a major step towards sustainable energy use in Sudan. Also, we have significant expansion in solar water pumping projects. Organizations such as UNDP and alongside with the government are investing in solar water pumping projects, especially in the north area and west of Sudan. And such things has raised awareness in the country and the people among the farmers there because they see and they know the benefit of the solar energy and the less operation cost. So most of the farmers there, they are now replacing the traditional diesel generator with the solar energy systems. Challenges. Sudan faces several challenges to adapt to the adaptation and expansion of solar for renewables energy. Financial constraint, lack of investment and funding of renewables energy project due to economic instability and limited access to financial resources. Also, we have absence of clear regulatory framework and supportive policies for renewables energy development. Also, the limited grid infrastructure make it difficult to integrate renewables energy sources, particularly in rural area. Moreover, political instability, as we know, the ongoing conflict and the war in Sudan may prevent foreign investment and energy projects. economic conditions, the current economic situation, including inflation and currency fluctuation, also impact the funding and affordability of renewables energy systems. The lack of reliable data. The available data is very old and insufficient and unreliable. So we need to work on the data that available right now. And also insufficient investment and research and development for renewables energy technology, limited innovation and adaptation of solutions that for the local conditions. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Razan. Do we have any questions? Thank you. That was a very good presentation. Thank you very
Thank you.
much for taking your time to join us today. Please, if you have any questions, kindly raise your hands or just type it um in the chat box so that okay, there's a question for you, Razan. I think
Okay.
over to you, Georgia, go on.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Razan. It was a very insightful presentation. I was
Thank
very
you.
excited to see that level of electricity, people that have access to electricity is quite high. 63% is good compared to most countries, especially in Africa. So, my question is talking about soiling of the solar PV. Because one thing I know, Sudan is close to also the desert, like most East African countries, especially close to Chad, Niger,
Mm,
Nigeria. We all
mm.
share something. So, do they have things in place for the soiling of PV panels? Because of dust of the desert, it affects the output of the PV panels. Is there anything that is done for that?
Actually, we still rely on traditional cleaning in Sudan for the dust.
Oh, okay. Okay, then it's similar to what we are still doing, finding a way. Yeah. Um, Is there also any plan for Sudan talking about hydrogen? Because there's also news, everybody's talking about hydrogen now.
Yeah,
Nice.
unfortunately not yet. We don't have like any like the government didn't talk about anything about hydrogen and stuff like that.
Okay, and my final question is about the oil in Sudan. So, like
Mm.
Nigeria too, we have issues. We have oil, we have
Mm.
availability of sunlight. Do we completely phase out the oil and gas and switch to renewables, or there's a way we can do both?
Sorry, can you re- repeat your question again?
Okay, Sudan has oil
Okay.
that we export and we use to power our energy. And we also have availability of renewable energy. So are we going to completely stop doing oil and switch to renewable energy?
Actually, Sudan lost 75% of its oil when South Sudan separate in 2011. So we don't have like that much oil. We need to transfer to renewables energy. So we don't have the most of the oil resources in South Sudan.
Oh, okay. Okay, now I understand. Thank you very much for the clarity.
Any other questions for our speaker?
Any question?
So, I just want to
Okay.
clarify. So, you
Yeah.
have
Sorry,
potential.
Mary, I think Bello is unmuted. I think he wants to ask a question.
Okay, go ahead, Bello.
Okay, good afternoon. That was a very wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
And my question is, I think I have two questions. The first one is very much related to the observation that Georgette made, but mine is related to our quest for totally having renewable energies as our sources of energy. Because if we look very carefully, I'm very sure that the levelized cost of using most of these renewable energies are very high compared to the average amount of income earned by an average Sudanese. So how do you plan, or how do you think the Sudanese government or various organizations can wage into balancing these two inconsistencies? My second question is related to the fact that currently, as you said earlier, that Sudan, very correct, that Sudan no longer have the amount of oil because of the separation of the South Sudan. If you look very carefully, then we will see that most of the renewable energy of Sudan will come from hydropower, considering the fact that River Nile runs through other countries. What do you think will be the consequences that will attach to if other countries at the top decided to also tap from this River Nile also? Will it affect your hydropower install capacity or what? Thank you.
Okay, regarding the second question is political, so I'm not going to answer that. But the first questions, Sudan, the government is making so many effort, they encouraging the international investment in the renewables energy in the country, and also they want to receive international support in the form of financing, assistance, technology transfer, and capacity building, just to achieve uh, their target in greenhouse gases and in renewables energy. So it's kind of achieved by international support and support the investment in the country. Can you hear me?
So that means, Bello, I think she's trying to talk about maybe having subsidies to kind of
Yes.
reduce the cost for locals. Yeah, I mean to have
Yeah, I understand. I get where she is going to. That's a very nice initiative to pop that.
yeah.
Thank you for the response.
Yeah, so my my question is regarding the, let's say, electricity that you'll be producing from renewables. So let's say if you have excess electricity, is like, will you sell the excess electricity to neighboring countries that have problems with powering their countries?
If
So yeah.
if we approach that, then of course we will do. If
I
we
mean,
approach
yeah.
like having access to electricity to sell it, yeah, of course. And I think the government will do that.
I mean, we're all Africans. I mean, it's better to sell to, I'm just thinking this way. Yeah. It's better to sell to them than at least, yeah, for it to be just there and all. Anyways, do we have any other questions or contributions, suggestions that we can add to Madam Razan's presentation? So I think everybody's okay at this point. And
I think I
okay,
also I still have I still have a question to actually ask.
okay, go
If
ahead.
from your presentation, and which according you said 63.2% of Sudanese have access to electricity. That is a very quite large number compared to some of the African countries we have. So how do you think the other 37 or something else, 36 point something percent, what could be the reason why those percentages don't have? Because we know that the concept of energy security encompasses affordability, sustainability, and availability. Is it that the energy is not available, or those 30 something percent cannot be able to afford it, or the energy itself is not that sustainable? What is actually the problem? That
The problem
because
is that, as I said, we have limited grid infrastructure. That's one of the problems. So regarding the resources, we have the resources, But unfortunately, there is financial lack of investment, as I said, in the challenges and funding for renewables energy, and also limited grid infrastructure. That's why there is people in the rural areas, they doesn't have access to renewables energy, to electricity. Sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we're gonna draw the curtains here. Thank you very much for everybody that joined today's webinar. We are grateful that you joined us with your schedule and all. We know. Okay, can you see my screen, please?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so yeah, so we want to thank everyone for joining, taking out time to join us for today's webinar. We want to give special thanks to our speaker, Madam Rosa. Really appreciate you accepting our invite to speak for us today. We hope that a lot of people learned from what you presented today. I believe most do, because the questions can already answer that. And okay, someone's hand is up. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, go on and ask your question if you have one.
Hi everyone. Thank you for this kind of initiatives. Actually, we need it as African. We need to know each other. We need to know about our resources, not only in this sector of renewable energy and sustainability, but I think in Africa we need a lot of this initiative to make better networking in public or in private sector. Thank you, Razan, for the insights and presentation.
Thank you.
And I have enjoyed the discussion. And I want to add some point regarding Pelo talk. Actually, Sudan, because I'm from Sudan and I have worked in the grid before. We have two issues why only 33% have access to the electricity. We have Sudan is a large country. It's not easy to invest in transmission line, and you have to follow the resources to put your injection generation point. So we rely more than 70% renewable. A renewable is a natural resource, and you have to follow the geographic position. So where to put the hydro generation, and then you have to export this generation to the country. This makes some constraint. It's not easy to invest in hundreds of kilometers of high voltage transmission line, and this need a lot of investment. And other things is the issue of distribution. The people live in different area, scattered in big area. So it's not easy to reach all this rural area and make proper transmission and distribution. Huge effort and big investment, and government cannot do this. So recently, the electricity company they start to deploy the generation outside the grid, or what we call distributed generation. So we're making solar PV plant in the north out of grid, and we supply this area, and we make biogas in another region and supply this area. So distributed generation help to solve this issue, especially in country like Sudan with big area. But unfortunately now all this effort has been stopped because of the ongoing conflict in Sudan. But actually, in terms of resource, we have huge amount of oil not yet explored. So this area also will go in parallel with renewable energy. Thank you.
Thank you, Ayman.
Thank you very much for that contribution. And I hope I was able to clarify some of the questions that were asked. Okay, so before we end, I want to ask us that are on the call to kindly follow MAGGREEN on all our platforms, social media platforms. We're on YouTube now. You can subscribe to our channel. We are on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, X. We're actually uploading the recording of all our MAGGREEN webinars, the Africa Energy series. So if you want to see all the video the recording of all the other webinars that you have missed for other African countries, you can go to our YouTube channel and check them out. They are really nice. You thank me later. And yeah, like our posts, don't always share our posts and stay connected with us for updates because we have a lot of things planned for the coming years. We hope you join us in our next webinar series. We don't know which country is coming next, but we hope you stay connected with us on our social media platforms and then you'll know what's next with us. Thank you for joining and have a lovely weekend. Ciao.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.